Well, let's get started. I want to welcome everyone to Tuesday, October 27, 2020 Glynn County Board of Commissioners Finance Committee meeting. In an effort to adhere to the guidelines set forth by the CDC for the COVID-19 pandemic, this meeting is being held via video teleconference. The public has simultaneous access to the meeting. The meeting will be streamed online for public viewing through the Glynn County Board of Commissioners Facebook and YouTube pages. Commissioners, remember to mute your microphone when you're not speaking. We're going to start off with the roll call. Commissioner Booker is here. Commissioner Brunson.
Here.
Commissioner Quinn.
Here.
Okay, and staff, Alan Hours.
Here.
Will Worley.
I'm here.
Okay, Dwani. Matthew is here. Tamara Munson.
Here.
Judy Dunnigan.
Here.
Chief Wiggins.
Here.
Okay, Catherine Downs is here.
I'm here.
Jason Hagan.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
All right. Okay, Deborah Bragdon.
I'm here.
Dave Austin.
I'm here.
Ron Glisson. I guess
I'm here for Ron. This is Carrie Toller.
Carrie. And Tiffany is not here. Is Monica Harding here?
Here.
Okay, and Jerry Mullis.
Here.
Okay, Judge Kelly.
This is Lisa Johnson in for Judge Kelly.
All right, Lisa.
He is on the bench today.
Okay, that's what we need him. Okay, Lisa. And is Captain Smith here, Eugene Smith? I guess we have Jay here. Good. All right. Anything with any changes with the agenda we need to make? If not, can I get a motion to accept the agenda as presented?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the agenda as presented.
Second.
So a motion and second that we accept, we approve item 1 as presented. Call the votes. Commissioner Booker. Aye. Commissioner Brunson.
Aye.
Commissioner O'Quinn.
Aye.
Okay, item 2, minutes from the September 22nd Finance Committee meeting. Any changes?
Move to approve.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded that we approve item 2 as presented. We'll call the vote. Commissioner Booker, yes. Commissioner Brunson,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Quinn.
Aye.
Okay. Item 3, consider canceling the regular scheduled Finance Committee meeting on December 29th, 2020, and hold a special call Finance Committee meeting on December 8th, 2020 at 2 p.m. Judy, I guess we're
Yes,
making
sir.
allowances for the holidays.
Well, yes, sir, for the holidays, and just to get everything cleared up so that your January meeting, you can induct the new officers and the new commission members.
Okay. Commissioners?
I move we move the meeting to December the 8th, the finance meeting to December the 8th.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. We approve item 3 as presented. We'll call the vote. Commissioner Booker, aye. Commissioner Brunson,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Quinn.
Aye.
Okay, public safety items. Item number 4, consider recommending the Board of Commissioners approve the issuance of 2 purchase orders through Georgia State contracts to Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in the amount of $57,338 for the purchase of 2 Ford F-150s and to Akins Ford Dodge Jeep Chrysler in the amount of $56,766 for the purchase of 2 Dodge Durangos with funding to be provided by the FY21 Police Fund. Jay Wiggins, Captain.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Commissioners.
I'm sorry, I demoted you.
No,
Go
sir,
ahead.
that's fine. That's okay. I answer to just about anything. Commissioners, good afternoon. Appreciate the opportunity to speak with you this afternoon. These will be vehicles that will, as we expand the department and add those additional officers from the COPS grant, and we, after speaking with the investigative division, we found that their needs would be met by the F-150s and the Durangos, as far as being able to transport evidence and equipment that they need, be a much better vehicle for them. And I'm certainly glad to answer any other questions you may have.
Commissioners, any questions?
I don't have any questions. I would recommend the Board of Commissioners approve the issuance of 2 purchase orders through the state contracts to Allen Virgil Ford Lincoln in the amount of $57,338 for the purchase of 2 Ford F-150s and to Atkinson Ford Dodge Jeep Chrysler in the amount of $56,766 for the purchase of 2 Dodge Durangos with funding to be provided by the FY21 Police Fund budget.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded that we approve item 4 as presented. Call the vote. Commissioner Booker, aye. Commissioner Brunson,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Quinn.
Aye.
All right. Item 5, consider recommending Board of Commissioners approve agreement with West Publishing Corporation for Clear Pro Services for 1 year at a cost of $317.10 per month, with funding to be provided by the FY21 Police Fund. Chief Wiggins, I'm gonna make you.
Yes, sir. That's fine. Commissioners, I'm joined today by Christy Kinstall and also Lieutenant Resin Talbert. Lieutenant Resin Talbert was initially involved in the research on this project, so I'm going to let him speak directly to that, and we'll be glad to answer any questions.
Yes, sir. So kind of an overview of CLEAR, what it does is it collects information from a multitude of different areas, credit reporting agencies, utility companies, things like this. What this product helps us do is if we're trying to locate somebody, it'll pull up previous addresses, it'll pull up current addresses, phone numbers under their name, utility bills under their name, things such as that. It's got a whole other area that it works on with license plate readers, things like that. But the main reason that we need it is the source information where we go to try to locate victims or witnesses or suspects. It gives us a database where to work on. We can search cell phones. It identifies, say, for example, you get Georgia Power and you register your phone number with them, we'd be able to link it back. So it's an intelligence gathering program that we use to kind of track down people.
Well, it seems like it's a pretty good tool is it $317.10 per month for all that you need? Is that correct?
Yes. How many is it?
10 investigators.
It's 10 investigators, yes. So it'll give enough access, and then other investigators can go to them when they need things searched.
Okay.
We use a program now called AccuRent. Clear is just, from our research, is just a much better program.
Is this thing just exclusive to law enforcement? I mean, individual, I don't guess could access this kind of information.
I don't believe so. I mean, it's a lot of it is public gathering, like I said, the credit report, things like that. But it's Clear as a law enforcement program. They contract out with law enforcement entities.
Mr. Chairman, I move to recommend the Board of Commissioners approve the agreement with West Publishing Corporation for Clear Pro service for 1 year at the cost of $317.10 per month. The funding to be provided by the FY20 Police Fund.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded that we approve item 5 as presented. We'll call the vote. Commissioner Booker, aye. Commissioner Brunson,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Quinn.
Aye.
Item 6, consider recommending the Board of Commissioners declare police service dogs Canto and Argus as surplus and authorize their retirement from service and authorize the adoption of Canto by Sergeants Lori Austin and August by Mr. Jacob Weaver, with the requirement that the new owners take possession within 10 days of approval and have the dogs neutered within 60 days of adoption. Chief Wiggins.
Yes, sir, Commissioners. One of the dogs has reached his serviceability. He's of the age that he needs to be retired. He's had some medical issues. The other dog was a donated dog that has been determined is not fit to do the type of work that we need. We do have currently the 3 working dogs, which just returned from school and are doing a great job for us. But we'd like to place these dogs with people that'll take care of them and let them enjoy their retirement.
Mr. Chairman, I move to recommend the Board of Commissioners declare the police service dogs Canto and Argus as surplus and authorize their retirement from service, and authorize the adoption of Canto by Sergeant Lori Austin and Argus by Mr. Jacob Weaver, with the requirement that new owners take possession within 10 days of approval and have the dogs neutered within 60 days of adoption.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded that we approve item 6 as presented. Call the vote. Commissioner Booker, aye. Commissioner Bronson.
Aye.
Commissioner O'Quinn.
Aye.
Item 7, consider recommending the Board of Commissioners approve the issuance of a purchase order to Stryker Medical in the amount of $53,472.45 for the purchase of 1 Power Pro XT cot and 1 LifePak-15 monitor defibrillator with accessories, with the funding to be provided by the FY21 Emergency Medical Services Fund. Chief Jordan.
Yes, sir. These particular items were budgeted as part of a package deal on an ambulance that was built into it. The Power Pro stretcher, of course, is the patient transport stretcher. The monitor defibrillator is the device we use to monitor cardiac and to work cardiac arrests. Stryker is a sole source on this.
Commissioners.
Mr. Chairman, I move to recommend the board approve the issuance of a purchase order to Stryker Medical in the amount of $53,472.45 for the purchase of a Power Pro XT cot and a LifePak-15 monitor defibrillator with applicable accessories, with funding provided by the FY21 Emergency Medical Fund account number there 2733600.542500.
Is there a second?
I'm sorry.
I'm done.
I was marveling at all those numbers you read.
Yeah, I didn't see them on mine. I'm glad you added that.
I am too. I just made them up.
It's been motioned and seconded that we approve item 7 as presented. We'll call the vote. Commissioner Booker, aye. Commissioner Bronson.
Aye.
Commissioner Owen.
Aye.
Item 8, consider recommending the Board of Commissioners approve the issuance of a purchase order to Rescue Systems Unlimited of Tallahassee, Florida, in the amount of $39,841 to purchase 2 sets of extraction equipment, with the funding to be provided by the FY21 Fire Fund budget and the Fire Fund balance. Chief Jordan.
Yes, sir. These particular items are previously called the Jaws of Life. Our extrication tools have an excessive life on them. We've got several in excess of 15 years. We're seeking to replace 2 sets with the electric tools, which are smaller, lighter, and more powerful. During the budget process, the item was inadvertently cut. I've spoken to Mr. Hours and with Tamara, and they have both authorized, or Tamara authorized the use of funds as the funding was accidentally cut. That's the reason we're seeking reserve funds.
Commissioners, any questions?
I have no questions. Mr. Chairman, I move to recommend the Board of Commissioners approve the issuance of a purchase order to Rescue Systems Unlimited of Tallahassee, Florida, in the amount of $39,841 to purchase 2 sets of extraction equipment. The funding to be provided by the FY20 Fire Fund budget 270-3500.542500 and the Fire Fund balance.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded that we approve item 8 as presented. We'll call the vote. Commissioner Booker, aye. Commissioner Brunson,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Quinn.
Aye.
Thank you,
Okay.
Commissioners.
Thank you. Property appraisal items, item 9, consider recommending the Board of Commissioners approve the real personal property corrections and exemptions as recommended by the Board of Assessors. Getting some feedback, Matthew. By the Board of Assessors and Chief Appraisers at their Thursday, October 8, 2020 meeting. With clarification that this does not approve a tax refund. Lisa?
Just real quick, that would be Harry's mic. That's back there.
Great.
So just as long as you're talking, good. Just when other people are talking about mute your mic.
I gotcha. All right. I was just going to say these are the real property and personal property corrections that were approved on October 8 by the Board of Assessors, and we're seeking the Finance Committee approval.
Oh, okay. And I inadvertently said Lisa. Go ahead, Carrie. Commissioners, any questions around this listing? I guess I did have one about the correction of the going from a little over 3 acres to 83 acres. Did I see that properly?
I did.
How was that?
Which one is that? I'm sorry, which one was that?
I think it was in the beginning.
Okay, correct. Okay, yeah, it went to 0.83 acres. It was just a data entry error on our part,
Okay. All
I
right.
believe. So,
That makes more sense.
Right.
Yeah. Commissioners, any other questions?
Mr. Chairman, I move to recommend the board approve the real and personal property corrections and exemptions as recommended by the Board of Assessors and the Chief Appraiser at their Thursday, October 8th, 2020 meeting with clarification. This does not approve a tax refund.
Second.
Been motion and seconded that we approve item 9 as presented. We'll call the vote. Commissioner Booker, aye. Commissioner Brunson,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Quinn.
Aye.
Okay, we'll move to budget and grants items. Item 10, consider recommending the Board of Commissioners approve the FY20 Homeland Security Grant Program and increase the Police Department's FY21 revenue and expenditure budgets in the amount of $10,000 each, subject to the approval of the county attorney. Judy? Or is it Monica?
Monica's going to speak to that one.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. This is a grant that we traditionally go after every year, and we were awarded $10,000 for the Glynn County Police Department. And the funds will be dedicated to the SWAT team, and traditionally they've purchased items to help them respond to hazmat situations. So I can get you the listing of items, but right now is the award of $10,000 before you, and once approved, we'll send that approval to GMA.
Mr. Chairman, I move to recommend the Board of Commissioners approve the FY 2020 Homeland Security Grant Program and increase the Police Department's FY 21 revenue and expenditures budget the amount of $10,000 each, subject to the approval of the county attorney.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded that we approve item 10 as presented. We'll call the vote. Commissioner Booker, aye. Commissioner Brunson,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Quinn.
Aye.
Okay, item 11, consider recommending the Board of Commissioners accept the 2020 Victims of Crime Act grant. Monica.
Yes, sir. So this grant will cover the VOCA coordinator's salary, some supplies, training, certainly training and travel for her, and It is again a grant that we go after every year. We were fortunate enough to get it again, and fortunately this year the local match was waived. So right now the entirety of the grant is for the program, and no local match is required.
Way to go, Monica. Mr. Chairman, I move to recommend the Board of Commissioners accept the 2020 Victims of Crime Act grant.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded that we approve item 11 as presented. We'll call the vote. Commissioner Booker, aye. Commissioner Bronson,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Quinn.
Aye.
Okay. Item 12, consider recommending the Board of Commissioners approve the Glynn County 2021 LMIG suggested list of roads and bridges as the Georgia Department of Transportation 2021 LMIG project with funding from SPLOSH 2016, FY21 capital budget, and GDOT 2021 LMIG funding, as well as authorize the Glynn County Commission chairperson to sign the 2021 LMIG application on behalf of Glynn County and to go out to bid for the proposed work once the application has been approved by GDOT. Dave Austin.
So, Commissioners, good afternoon. This is the annual proposed LMIG. You should have a list on there, about 10 miles of road. Those are roads that we propose for resurfacing. We have to submit this to GDOT for them to approve of it before we go out to bid. So we send it up there, they approve, it comes back, the chairman signs, and then at that point, we put it out for bid. This list of roads exceeds our LMIG budget, but it will tap into some of it'll tap into some of our SPLOSH 2020 resurfacing money.
David, this
Dave,
thing,
when was the last time we did something on Habersham, our part of Habersham?
Oh, I'd have to research that. I can find that out for you.
Okay.
Dave, does this pretty well clean up CPOMs?
This pretty well cleans up CPOMs.
Okay.
Yes. This hits CPOMs. You should have some maps. Did you get the maps?
I saw them. I
Yeah.
just don't know what, I mean,
Okay.
I didn't know what was.
Gives you an idea. CPOMs pretty much cleans up that, gets Dunbarton across the way. We had a pesky commissioner that retired recently, and we're going to get his area that we've been putting off for a long time over there on Woodcrest Circle off of Harry Driggers. That was a case where, if you go into the neighborhood, the problem with neighborhood resurfacing is if you don't do the whole neighborhood, you make about half of them happy and half of them mad.
What did you describe that commissioner as, a festy or feisty?
I think I said fight. He called me yesterday, asked that very same question along with how was the trash on the spur looking. Some things never stop,
Without any further ado, I move to recommend the Board of Commissioners approve the Glynn County 2021 LMIG suggested list of roads and bridges of the Georgia Department of Transportation 2021 LMIG project with funding from SPLOSH 2016, FY21 capital budget, and DOT 2021 LMIG funding, as well as authorize the County Commission chairperson to sign the 2021 LMIG application on behalf of Glynn County and go out to bid for the proposed work once the application has been approved by GDOT.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded that we approve item 12 as presented. We'll call for the vote. Commissioner Booker, aye. Commissioner Bronson,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Quinn.
Aye.
Item 13, consider recommending the Board of Commissioners accept the FY21 Live Tech funding grant and authorize a revenue and expenditure budget increase in the amount of $6,374 for the Marshes of Glynn Libraries, with the funding to be provided by the Georgia Public Library Services. Jerry?
Hi, thank you, Commissioners. Yes, this is the same grant that we've gotten for several years in a row. Unfortunately, this one's just a little bit less than what it has been in the past. So the libraries will be using some donation money to help counteract and make sure that we get 3 computers instead of 2.5.
Okay.
Well, in this environment, I think we need to be thankful for anything.
Hey, yes, exactly.
I move to recommend the Board of Commissioners accept the FY Lib Tech funding grant and authorize the revenue and expenditure budget increase in the amount of $6,374 for the Marshall County Libraries, with the funding to be provided by the Georgia Public Library Service.
Second.
It's been properly motioned and seconded that we approve item 13 as presented. We'll call for the vote. Commissioner Booker, aye. Commissioner Brunson,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Quinn.
Aye.
Item 14, consider recommending the Board of Commissioners amend the FY21 budget to include the attached list of prior year budgeted items that were not completed in FY20. Judy or Tamara?
Hey, this is Tamara. Good afternoon, Commissioners. This is what's known as the carry forwards or the encumbrances that we bring forward each year. So the first 2 pages attached there are purchase orders that were issued prior to year end where we had not received the goods or services before the end of the year. So the vast majority of these, we received the goods and services in July and August, and the invoices have already been paid. But because they were not received prior to June 30th, we have to pay for those in FY21, even though the money was encumbered in FY20. The last 2 pages are almost all grants with the exception of a couple under the Capital Projects Fund. So what happens with grants is we're awarded the grants, and a lot of the grants do not end on the same fiscal year that we have. So if it's a federal grant, it ends September 30th. Some grants are multi-year grants, so we might be awarded money that spans 2 or 3 years. So we amend the budget when we receive a grant, but we have to carry forward what's left of that grant revenues and expenditures to our next fiscal year if it doesn't end on the same fiscal year that we have. So that's a quick overview of these, and I am happy to answer any questions that you have about any specific items.
I don't have any commissioners.
I don't have any. Mr. Chairman, I move to recommend the Board of Commissioners amend the FY20 budget to include the attached list of prior year budget items that were not completed in FY20.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded that we approve item 14 as presented. We'll call the vote. Commissioner Booker, aye. Commissioner Brunson,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Quinn.
Aye.
All right, item 15, consider recommending the Board of Commissioners declare the unusable items listed on the attached page as surplus and approve disposing of these items in a manner that is in the best interest of the county. Judy?
Yes, sir, Commissioners. These 5 items that were on the attached list have been deemed as surplus by our Public Works Department, and we just want to sell them and dispose of them.
Commissioners?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend the Board of Commissioners declare the unusable items listed on the attached page as surplus and approve disposing of these items in a manner that is in the best interest of the county.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded that we approve item 15 as presented. We'll call the vote. Commissioner Booker, aye. Commissioner Brunson,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Quinn.
Aye.
Okay, contracts and procurement. Item 16, consider recommending the Board of Commissioners approve personnel contracts with the University System of Georgia's UGA Cooperative Extension Office to extend the contracts of 1 county ag agent and 1 county extension associate and 1 cooperative extension coordinator through June 30th, 2021, with funding in the amount of $96,230 to be provided by the FY20 Georgia Extension Operating Budget. Mr. Hours.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Commissioners. What's before you today is our personnel contracts with the University of Georgia for these positions that you mentioned. That actually is the FY21 budget. That's a typo. But this is something we do every year, and to follow up with this, we'll have another agreement that we're going back and forth between the university on some wording that we'll bring forward to you probably at next month's Finance Committee meeting. But this is something that University of Georgia requires before they can pay their personnel. So it's in good order, and we recommend approval.
So they've hired a ag agent?
Not that I'm aware of. As you might remember, I think 2 work sessions ago, they came before you to discuss their plan to consolidate that position into a position for our county and Camden County that would not only include the ag part, but also include the aqua agriculture as well. So they're amending that position, but I don't think they've hired anybody yet. I think they're still searching for someone.
Okay. Commissioners?
Mr. Chairman, I move to recommend the Board of Commissioners approve the personnel contracts with the University of Georgia Cooperative Extension Office to extend the contracts for contract of 1 county agent, ag agent, 1 county extension associate, and 1 cooperative extension coordinator through June 30th, 2021, with funding in the amount of $96,230 to be provided by the FY21 GA extension operating budget.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded that we approve item 16 as presented with the 1 correction of the FY 21 budget. We'll call for the vote. Commissioner Booker, aye. Commissioner Brunson.
Aye.
Commissioner O'Quinn.
Aye.
Okay, item 17. Consider recommending the Board of Commissioners exercise the 4th-year option with Ameris Bank for the county's banking services at no cost to Glynn County. Tamara or Judy?
Yes, sir. We would like to continue this 4th year with Ameris Bank. They've been providing good service, and it's at no cost to the county.
Mr. Chairman, I move to recommend the Board of Commissioners exercise the 4th-year option with Ameris Bank for the county's banking services at no cost to Glynn County.
Second.
The motion is seconded that we approve item 17 as presented. We'll call the vote. Commissioner Booker, aye. Commissioner Brunson.
Aye.
Commissioner O'Quinn.
Aye.
All right. Item 18, consider recommending the Board of Commissioners approve the purchase of a small SUV utilizing a Georgia state contract and amend the FY21 drug court fund by increasing revenues and expenditures of up to $35,000 to cover the cost of the vehicle. Lisa.
Yes,
Good
good
afternoon.
afternoon. This is Lisa Johnson, and I'm here speaking on behalf of Judge Kelly, who is on the bench today. Our request is to purchase a small SUV to alleviate the travel burden on our current team members and to provide a consistent and safe means of travel for our team members. We sustained about a $41,000 cut in funding this year, which has forced us to leave a position vacant in one of our outlying sites. You may or may not know that Glynn County, or the Brunswick Judicial Circuit, covers about 140 miles from Jeff Davis County to Camden County. And previously our sites have been somewhat self-contained, but our team is now having to travel with regularity to cover all of the services that we provide. And so that's the purpose for our request.
Commissioners?
Mr. Chairman, I'm not going to make another joke about that RX 300 that we're salvaging. So I move to recommend the Board of Commissioners approve the purchase of a small SUV utilizing the state of Georgia state contract and amend the drug court fund FY21 budget by increasing revenues and expenditures up to $35 to cover the cost of the vehicle.
Second.
The motion is seconded that we approve item 18 as presented. We'll call for the vote. Commissioner Booker, aye. Commissioner Brunson.
Aye.
Commissioner O'Quinn.
Aye.
All right. Commissioner Item 19, consider recommending the Board of Commissioners award the bid for ADA compliance of the Golden Isle Center, now that we know where it is, to the lowest responsive and responsible bidder, MD McDonald Construction Company, in the amount of $239,768 with funding to be provided by the FY21 Capital Projects Fund budget. Dave?
Yes, sir. Over on 4th Street next to the Department of Health, just as you're turning off, you go to the stadium, you look to the right, and there it is. This is a continuation of our ADA improvements, countywide facilities. What do I get for the money? We had 3 bids. What do I get for the money? 5 bathrooms, the parking lot, the back porch, and some carpet. So that's what they're getting for the 240, what is it, 239,000.
Commissioners?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend we award the bid for the Board of Commissioners award the bid for the ADA compliance of the Golden Isle Center to the lowest responsive and responsible bidder, MD McDonald Construction Company, in the amount of $239,768 with funding to be provided by FY21 Capital Projects Fund budget.
Dave, what does carpet have to do with ADA?
That's the same question I had. So,
well, I won't say anything about great minds because
I think it's
pretty weak.
So he went down the road that it was bundled up or ruffled or something. I don't know. So yes, I don't have a good answer for you on that. I could dive into that one a little deeper, or find out how much the carpet is.
I guess I could understand if there's some kind of compliance about slip and fall and, vinyl floor or something. Second motion.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Brunson. Any additional questions before we take the vote? If not, we'll call for the vote. Commissioner Booker, aye. Commissioner Brunson?
Aye.
Commissioner O'Quinn?
Aye.
Dave, you may want to check on that by the time it gets to the board meeting, maybe.
Yes, sir.
On the carpet.
I will.
Item 20, consider recommending the Board of Commissioners approve to bid the repairs required for the St. Simons Island Fishing Pier and direct public works to generate a construction solicitation package for the emergency repairs needed for the fender system, as well as the structural repairs identified by EMC Engineering in their October 2020 plans. Dave?
So we like to get EMC under the bridge every 3 to 4 years, and we try to get them under the bridge this year and then put this on the budget for next year. That's the good news. And the good news is when he went under the bridge with the help from the emergency management folks, it doesn't look as bad as we thought it might look. So the bridge takes a beating. It requires periodic maintenance for spalls, cracks, to keep the concrete from cracking and to keep the metal in the structure safe and not rusting. But the bad news is we sustained some fender damage, and so we got a quote for some fender repair. And that fender repair, that's the wooden structure that's off the side of the pier. It's used by the pilots that lash up to the pier to drop off. The pilots come and go there, and other, I guess, folks come and go there. That needs immediate attention. So what we would like to do, instead of just fixing that fender and then fixing the pier next year, is to lump all this stuff up and put it out for a bid and then come back to you with the price. In the meantime, Tamara says that she's going to get me the money for this somehow, somewhere. Isn't that right, Tamara?
That is correct, sir.
Okay, well, I believe her. Commissioners, any questions around this? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
No, I have no questions. Mr. Chairman, I move to recommend the board approve the bid repair required for the St. Simons Island Fishing Pier and direct Public Works to generate a construction solicitation package for the emergency repairs needed for the fender system, as well as the structural repairs identified by EMC Engineering in their October 2020 plans.
Second.
The motion and seconded that we approve item 20 as presented. I call for the vote. Commissioner Booker, aye. Commissioner Brunson,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Quinn.
Aye.
All right, item 21, consider recommending the Board of Commissioners award the base year contract for countywide facilities pest control services to Knox Pest Control Company from Brunswick, Georgia, in the amount of $5,400, with funding to be provided by the Public Works Department Facilities Division operating budget. Dave.
So this is one where Tamara caught me, and we had been doing this off a credit card for years, and she said this is over the amount for a credit card, and so you need to put this out for bid. So we put it out for bid, got 6 different folks to bid on the scope of work, and Knox came in the cheapest at $5,400. And that's their base bid, and they have a base bid with 3 option years, and there's no increase in the 3 option years at $5,400.
And so what facilities are they covering with this?
Oh, we cover animal control, casino, Blythe Island Community Building, Brookman, Highland Park, Mallory Park, Coast Guard Bathhouse, Ballard Community Center, Ballard Rec, Ballard Long Building, Ballard Concession and Storage, Ballard Maintenance, Blythe Island Registration, Blythe Island Caretaker, Facilities Maintenance, Courthouse, Historic Courthouse, Rose Drive Storage, Office Park, just about every one. You want me to continue?
No, but I guess my concern was how often do they provide?
They come around just about every month. The guy comes in and does pest control.
It just seemed low compared to what they another pest control company charge.
They're the ones that were. Yes, sir. Yeah, I agree. They're the ones that were doing it, so maybe they know exactly what the scope is better than the other folks. We did have one. I guess
my concern would be are they actually spraying all the time?
Are they spraying water? Are they spraying water?
Well, in the pest control business, the customer will let you know. Okay, and when we get overrun, we do. They do let us know. The next lowest bidder was at 57, so they left $312 on the table.
Okay.
The next lowest bidder
14,000. So anyway,
we'll see about that. I mean, we'll take it for now. But
all right,
Commissioner.
Tamara, will you remind me what the limit is on the credit cards?
It's $1,500 per transaction. And if it is something that is purchased all the time, we like to try to bid it out simply because we can typically get a better price if there's competitive options in there.
Okay. And the number of credit cards that we have issued for payments, that's per each department, and then each department head signs off on the purchase. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I move to recommend the Board of Commissioners award the base year contract for the countywide facilities pest control service to Knox Pest Control Company of Brunswick in the amount of $5,400 with funding provided by the Public Works Department Facility Division operating budget.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded that we approve item 21 as presented. I'll call for the vote. Commissioner Booker, aye. Commissioner Brunson?
Aye.
Commissioner O'Quinn?
Aye.
Item 22, consider recommending the Board of Commissioners approve the issuance of a purchase order for a CAT 308 E2 excavator undercarriage repairs to Yancey Caterpillar of Brunswick, Georgia, in the amount of $29,944.49, with funding to be provided by the FY21 Public Works Fleet Division operating budget. Dave.
So the good thing is we have a lot of equipment that's the same. The bad thing is when it needs to be fixed, it's got to go to the dealer or to Yancey, in this case Yancey, which is the only Caterpillar dealer in town. This excavator is used to cut small ditches, put a cutting head on it. It's also used to dig and to regrade ditches. It gets a lot of work. It's 5 years old. It's got 4,000 some odd hours on it. It should be able to go easy to 8,000 hours or 10,000 hours. But you know, under these conditions that we have in this county, the undercarriage, in this case, the final drive went out. We replaced the final drive. Then we had problems with the sprockets and the shoes, and so then the whole undercarriage needed to be rebuilt. And this is the cost of for how much that cost to fix. A new one is $142,000, I believe.
I think we had an excavator on the surplus list, didn't we, Dave?
We did. So the small ones last a certain amount of years. It seems like the bigger ones last longer than the small ones. The smaller ones, this is a medium size. The smaller ones we seem to consume after, I don't know, 5 to 10, well, about 10 years. Things just start getting too rusted underneath.
Commissioners, any other questions?
Mr. Chairman, I move to recommend the Board of Commissioners approve the purchase order for the CAT 308E2 excavator undercarriage repairs to Yancey Caterpillar of Brunswick, Georgia, in the amount of $29,944.49, with funding provided by the FY20 Public Works Fleet Division operating budget.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded that we approve item 22 as presented. Call for the vote. Commissioner Booker, aye. Commissioner Brunson,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Quinn.
Aye.
Thank you,
Item
Commissioner.
23. Sure, Dave. Item 23, consider recommending the Board of Commissioners agree to accept the renewal of the tower and ground lease agreement with New Singular Wireless PCS for the space on the Brookman Tower, and the renewal is 5 years beginning November 1, 2020 to October 31st, 2025. Deborah.
Hi, good afternoon, Commissioners. This is a request to extend the lease for New Singular Wireless for an additional 5 years for space on the Brookman Tower. The revenue that they collected last year for this was like $29,949.28. And it goes up 3% every year.
How much was that, Deborah?
It was last year they collected $29,949.28.
Okay. All right, Commissioners.
I move to recommend the commission agree to accept the renewal of the tower and ground lease agreement with New Singular Wireless PCS for space on the Brookman Tower. The renewal is 5 years beginning November 1st, 2020 to October the 31st, 2025.
Second.
The motion and seconded that we approve item 23 as presented. I'll call for the vote. Commissioner Booker, aye. Commissioner Brunson,
Aye.
Commissioner Quinn.
Aye.
Is that the water tower?
It's the radio tower. It's right there on Buck Swamp.
It's the what kind of tower?
It's the radio tower.
Yeah, I know it, but it's not on the water tower. I assumed it was the Brookman water tower that had a.
Right.
I am not sure, Commissioner. I'll be honest with you. I haven't seen it. But I'm thinking it was just a wireless tower.
Do we own that water tower?
I do not know.
It may be.
'Cause I remember that when I was on the Joint Water and Sewer Commission, commission and working that out with us.
I mean, the only tower I know about.
I do know that this one's at 1543 Fire Tower Road, which is right off of Buck Swamp.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, a few years ago, part of either SPOS 4 or SPOS 5 was to build that tower and that well. But those assets, as well as all the other assets, were turned over to JWSC. So, you know, the county, in cooperation with JWSC, had that built, but the assets been turned over to them.
Again, I asked the question. Let's move on.
It was a good question.
Yeah.
Item 24, consider recommending the Board of Commissioners approve a purchase order for one 2021 F-250 in the amount of $26,322 with the additional $1,500 to purchase a light bar with all funding provided by the FY21 Capital Projects Fund. Catherine.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. This is for a replacement vehicle. We had a van, an animal control, that meets the replacement schedule. However, Tiffany Hill, the division manager, feels that an F-250 would meet their needs more appropriately now in terms of providing a little bit more utility, being able to haul things, and in addition, most importantly, being able to haul the trailer in the case of an evacuation. So that's what this is for.
Commissioners.
How does when you have the matrix for replacement dictate that something's being replaced, that you make the decision to go from one type of vehicle to the other? Is that strictly determined by the department manager?
That might be more of a question for Dave in terms of the process for the matrix, but Tiffany did not need the van anymore. It was not being utilized because they didn't need it, and it just didn't provide the utility that was that they need to do the job.
Okay, and the trailer that they pull is for evacuation of animals, is that correct?
They can pull the trailer, yes, with this vehicle.
Dave, did you want to add anything about the matrix? Are you still here?
I'm still here. I'm not sure if you want me to answer this question. So,
short version then.
The manager can decide what she wants and recommend it to her boss. I mean, I think that's what she did in this case.
Commissioners, any other questions around this?
The matrix is basically miles and wear. So when a vehicle gets of a certain wear in a mile category and hours, then we look at replacement, and then, you know, the manager can decide at that point if that's the right vehicle that they need to replace it with.
So in this case, Catherine, you agree with the moving to the 250?
I do.
Well, they certainly know more about what they need than I do. So I move to recommend the Board of Commissioners approve the purchase order for one 2021 F-250 in the amount of $26,322 with an additional $1,500 to purchase a light bar with all funding provided by the FY21 Capital Project Fund. Makes sense. I mean, if you have to remove all these animals to be able to pull a trailer, you know, you wouldn't. I think you'd probably want a substantial truck, and a 250 is. So I think it makes sense to me.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded that we approve item 24 as presented. Call for the vote. Commissioner Booker, aye. Commissioner Brunson?
Aye.
Commissioner Quinn?
Aye.
Item 25. Consider recommending the Board of Commissioners through the contract extension with Goodwin Mills and Cabwood, Brunswick, Georgia through March 31st, 2021 to carry out the shoreline protection implementation plan of the coastal incentive grant. Catherine.
Thank you again, Commissioners. Yes, this is just to extend the contract with our consultant to match up with the grant extension. There's no change in the amount. There's no additional money that the county has to put forward because of this extension. Everything else stays the same. It's just the date on the contract.
Okay. Any questions, Commissioners?
Mr. Chairman, I move and recommend the Board of Commissioners approve the contract extension with Goodwin Mills and Kaywood, Brunswick, Georgia through March 31st, 2021 to carry out the shoreline protection implementation plan of the coastal incentive grant.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded that we approve item 25 as presented. Call for the vote. Commissioner Booker. Aye. Commissioner Brunson.
Aye.
Commissioner O'Quinn.
Aye.
Item 26, consider recommending the Board of Commissioners award a permanent contract for veterinary services and DEA licensing to Shana M. Knight, DVM, LLC Vet Services. Catherine.
Thank you again, Commissioners. Yes, this is, we've bid out the veterinary services for animal control. This would be the third time. And we had someone who was interested and approached us. And so we're just getting her under contract for a 12-month contract. This contract is identical to our previous veterinarian, Dr. Jim Rich, same pricing schedule and everything.
Okay, sounds good to me. Commissioners?
Mr. Chairman, I move the Finance Committee recommend that the Board of Commissioners award a permanent contract for veterinary services and DEA licensing to Shana M. Knight, DMV, LLC.
Second.
The motion and seconded that we approve item 26 as presented. Call for the vote. Commissioner Booker, aye. Commissioner Brunson.
Aye.
Commissioner O'Quinn.
Aye.
Okay, item 27, consider recommending the Board of Commissioners exercise the second option year for early alert for comprehensive disaster support services. This is Alex. Alec.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Hope everyone's doing well. Early Alert is a support services for incident management for myself and my team in case we have to activate. They were very beneficial this year. We had Hurricane Isaias. They utilize a lot of communications via email, and they were standing at the ready in case we needed them for backup if we were to activate. There's a no cost to the county unless we activate the contract, and we are looking to extend a second year option with them.
This is required by FEMA, is that correct, Alex?
It's not required, but it does have FEMA reimbursement. This falls under the category.
That's what I mean.
Yes, yeah.
We ain't gonna get money if we don't have it.
Exactly, yes.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman, I'm moving to recommend the Board of Commissioners exercise the second option year with Early Alert for comprehensive disaster support services.
Second.
Been motion and seconded that we approve item 27 as presented. I'll call for the vote. Commissioner Booker, aye. Commissioner Brunson.
Aye.
Commissioner O'Quinn.
Aye.
Okay, that's all the items on our agenda for today. Thank everybody. I don't see anything that needs to be pulled off consent. You all do? Commissioners?
No, I don't see anything.
Okay. All right. Thank everybody again for attending today. See you all next time.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.